Hello guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we will going to continue our discussion about process costing, wherein the focus of the discussion will be an illustrative example on equivalent unit of production and how to compute unit cost and the total cost under process costing for each department. And at the end of this video, we will be able to prepare a cost of production report. So let's start. Okay guys, so before we proceed sa ating illustrative example, so please make sure na napanood nyo na yung part 1 para mas mabilis tayo makasunod sa i-discuss natin on this video. Okay, so this is our illustration. So let's say for example, we have Kahoy Company. So Kahoy Company manufactures furniture in 3 departments. So we have the cutting department, assembly department, and finishing department. So definitely this is a process costing kasi meron tayong process na sinusunod. Una, pupunta muna yun sa cutting department, then susunod sa assembly, then susunod sa finishing, then pag natapos sa finishing, i-deliver na natin yan doon sa ating finished goods inventory. So the following information are available during the first month of its operation. So based on the number of units, ito po daw yung naging flow. So yung first department natin, which is the cutting department, ang started units natin is 10,000. So out of 10,000, ang nagkaroon daw ng transferred out na 6,000 units. So definitely meron na lang tayong 4,000 units in process. So yung 6,000 units na transferred out ni cutting department, naging started in process naman yun ni assembly department. So out of 6,000 ni assembly department, 4,000 were transferred out to the next department, which is the finishing department. So yung 4,000 na nasa finishing department, ang transferred out dun ay 3,000 units. So ibig sabihin dahil last department na ito, this will form part of the cost of goods manufactured in units. Leaving now, meron na lang tayong 1,000 units sa ending inventory ng ating finishing department. So the units still in process on each department had the following rate of completion. So dahil nga hindi pa tapos yung production ng mga units na yan, so hindi pa 100% yung rate of completion ng ating mga units na yan. So nagbigay din dito ng rate of completion. So per cutting department, as far as direct materials is concerned, it is already 100% done. So ibig sabihin, ang ilalagay na lang nating cost dyan is yung direct labor and the factory overhead. As far as the direct labor is concerned, 60% done na daw. Then yung factory overhead, 50% done. Then sa assembly department, same din, yung direct materials ay 100% done. So kulang na lang daw yung direct labor, which is 50% done. And factory overhead is 80% done. For finishing department, we have 100% done. So yung direct labor, 70% done. And factory overhead is 60% done. Furthermore, the following total manufacturing costs were incurred during the month. So ito yung daw na cost, yung ating mga manufacturing costs. So for cutting department, we have for direct materials, 1 million pesos. For direct labor, 924,000 pesos. For factory overhead, we have 739,200. For assembly department, ang direct materials natin ay 300,000 pesos. For the direct labor under assembly department, we have 252,000 pesos. For factory overhead under assembly, we have 224,000 pesos. Sa finishing department, wala na daw tayong na-incur na direct materials kasi nga finishing na lang daw. So wala na tayong na-incur dyan na direct materials, puro conversion cost na lang. So as far as direct labor cost is concerned, ang na-incur natin sa finishing ay 192,400. For factory overhead, we have 162,000. So ayan po ang ating mga manufacturing costs. So these are our requirements. So number 1, we have to compute for the equivalent unit of production of direct materials, direct labor, factory overhead for each department. Number 2, we have to compute for the unit cost on each department for the first month of operation. Number 3, kailangan daw natin mag-prepare ng cost of production report on each department. And number 4, we have to prepare the cost of goods sold, cost of goods manufactured report assuming the company purchased 2.5 million pesos worth of raw materials. So at the end of the day, ang goal natin dito is to prepare a cost of goods manufactured report o yung cost of goods sold. But before that, so we have to go through the process under process costing. So number 1, we have to compute for the equivalent unit of production. So in this case, dahil ang ating rate of completion ay different different depende sa kanyang manufacturing cost. So we have to compute for the equivalent unit of production for each manufacturing cost. So iba ang equivalent unit of production cost ni direct materials, iba ang equivalent unit of production ni direct labor, at iba rin ang equivalent unit of production ni factory overhead. So para mas madalin muna nating magawa ang hinahanap niyan, so let's proceed to satisfy requirement number 1, which is the computation of the equivalent unit of production. Okay, so let's try to satisfy the first requirement, which is the computation of equivalent unit of production. So ito ang ating given from our last slide. So hopefully nakikita nyo siya. So as we mentioned dun sa ating last video, equivalent unit of production is crucial in process costing because this is used as a denominator in order to compute the unit cost. Diba ang computation natin ng unit cost is total cost over equivalent unit of production. Then kasi ang unit cost, gagamitin naman natin to determine the amount to be allocated sa ending inventory at yung amount na ilalagay natin sa transferred out and eventually magiging part ng cost of goods manufactured. So, actually, madali lang naman ang computation ng equivalent unit of production. Pero, kung bago ka pa lang sa process costing, nakakalito talaga siya. So, para hindi ka masyadong malito kung paano siya i-compute, so let me share with you kung paano ko siya kino-compute. So, ang ginagawa ko, each department represented by a T account. Kasi madali mag-analyze kapag gumagamit tayo ng T account. So, sa case natin, dahil meron tayong 3 departments, so I will prepare 3 T accounts, diba? So, yung first T account natin ay yung ating cutting department, which is the first department. Then, yung second T account will be assembly department. Then, the last T account will be the finishing department. So, basically, ito po yung ating work in process inventory. Pero, hinihiwalay natin sila kasi para mahimahimay natin yung equivalent unit of production. Okay, so para lang naman din siyang T account ng work in process pero babaguhin lang natin ibang terminologies, 'di ba? Kasi nga in units muna yung pag-uusapan natin kasi as we all know, yung T account ng work in process doon sa left side, meron tayong beginning balance, ina-add natin yung manufacturing cost para makuha ang total goods placed in process. Then inideles natin yung ending para makuha naman yung cost of goods manufactured. Pero since nagpapasahan ng isang department sa kapwa niya department, meron lang tayong mga babaguhin na term pero parehas lang din naman sila ng concept. Okay? So sa illustration natin, consider daw itong problem na to as the first year of operation. So dahil first year of operation lang yan, so ang ating beginning balance po ay 0 lang. So nasa left side yan. So, 0 muna ang ating beginning balance kasi first year of operation yan. So, hindi muna natin i-distinguish yung FIFO method tsaka average method kasi nga, yung beginning balance natin ay 0 lang. So, nagkakaroon kasi ng difference sa computation ng equivalent unit of production kapag ang ini-employ na accounting policy ay magkaiba. Iba ang computation sa FIFO method, iba ang computation sa average method. But since this company ay sa first year of operation pa lang nila, so wala muna tayong distinction ng FIFO and average. So that will be discussed on the next video. So focus muna tayo dito sa problem natin. Okay? So as I mentioned earlier, so para lang din siyang T account ng work in process, babaguhin lang natin yung mga tawag sa mga account, di ba? So instead na gamitin natin yung account ng manufacturing cost, so bunta muna tayo doon kay cutting department. So sa cutting department, ang gagamitin natin account title or account or term will be started in process. So sa case natin, sabi daw dito 10,000 were started in process sa cutting department, which is the first department. So basically, the total goods placed in process in units is also 10,000 kasi nga wala nga tayong beginning balance. So ang goal natin is to identify or determine what happened doon sa 10,000 units natin. So ilagay lang natin siya sa right side. So sabi sa problem, out of 10,000, ang natitira na lang sa production at the end of the month is 4,000 units. So therefore, yung ating 6,000 is considered as transferred out units. Okay? So transferred out, yung transferred out ang tawag dyan. So yung transferred out sa cutting department, which is 6,000 units, will be part of the transferred in naman dun sa next department kasi nga ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay process costing. So transferred out ng cutting department, magiging transferred in ng assembly department. Okay, so same procedure lang doon sa cutting department. So sa assembly department, i-add nyo lang po yung beginning balance in units plus transferred in na 6,000 units na nanggaling doon sa cutting department. So the total goods placed in process in units is also 6,000 units. So same case, i-forward lang natin siya sa right side. Then explain nyo lang po kung ano nangyari dun sa 6,000 units na yan. So sabi dun sa problem, sa illustration, out of 6,000, ang natira na lang sa production is 2,000 units. So dahil 2,000 units na lang yung natira, so malamang yung remaining na 4,000 are considered as transferred out item or transferred out goods. So transferred out goods yan, so alam naman natin kung saan yan papunta, which is the next department, ang ating finishing department. Transferred out ni assembly, magiging transferred in naman ni finishing department. Same procedure, beginning plus transferred in. So the total goods placed in process in finishing department in units are 4,000 units. Explain lang natin kung ano nangyari din sa 4,000. So out of 4,000, ang natira na lang sa ending inventory ng finishing are 1,000 units. So 1,000 units yung natira. So ibig sabihin 3,000 units were delivered to finished goods inventory. So instead of using transferred out, gamitin na natin yung cost of goods manufactured kasi naman yung finishing department is the last department in process costing. So tandaan, gagamitin natin itong yung T account na sa taas in order to determine the equivalent unit of production on each department. Okay? So another dilemma po natin dito para makompute ang equivalent unit of production is the rate of completion. Kasi 'di ba pinag-usapan natin ang equivalent unit of production, pagsasama-samahin lang natin yung mga partially completed items na percentage para makabuo tayo ng isang unit, then so on and so forth. Kaya nga siya tinawag na equivalent unit of production. So one of our problems is that magkakaiba po ang rate of completion po ng ating manufacturing cost based dun sa problem. Kasi sabi daw dyan, sa direct materials, undercutting department, 100% completed na. Pero sa direct labor, 60% completed na. Then sa factory overhead, 50% completed. So if that's the case, so magkakaiba po ang computation ng equivalent unit of production for each manufacturing cost po natin. So itong table na to, this will become our guide in order to determine the equivalent unit of production for each manufacturing cost on each department, which is the first requirement sa ating problem. So para mas madali natin siyang maintindihan, so gawin natin tong scratch paper yung nasa ilalim. So sundan nyo lang po ako kung paano ko siya kino-compute. So hopefully makuha po natin yung tamang sagot. Okay? So based dun sa problem, unahin muna natin si cutting department. So ang goal po natin is to determine the equivalent unit of production. Sa equivalent unit of production, ang dalawa lang naman po ang panggagalingan niyan. Yung isa yung transferred out, tsaka yung isa yung ending inventory. So bibilugan ko lang dito sa taas. So ayan po yung i-explain po natin sa cutting department. So unahin muna natin si direct materials, 'di ba? So meron tayo dito ang direct materials. So unahin muna natin computein yung equivalent unit of production ng transferred out. So sa transferred out units, magkano ulit 'yon? We have 6,000 units. So yung 6,000 units dahil nga transferred out na yan, so definitely 100% completed na yan. Kasi hindi ka naman magta-transfer ng goods from one department to another kung hindi mo pa natatapos yung process mo. So in this case, yung 6,000 automatic po, completed na po yan lahat. So therefore, ang ating equivalent unit of production as far as the transferred out is concerned sa ating department is 6,000 units. So, ang next natin, i-compute yung equivalent unit of production of the partially completed item, which is yung ating ending inventory. So, as far as the direct materials is concerned, so ang natitira na doon na ending inventory is 4,000 units. So, out of 4,000 units, so sabi daw dyan, 100% completed na daw yung materials. So, kaya lang daw hindi natin mapapadala yan sa next department kasi hindi pa kompleto yung dalawang manufacturing cost such as the direct labor and the factory overhead. Yung mga conversion cost daw hindi pa kompleto so kaya hindi pa ma-transfer. Pero sa direct materials kompleto na yan. So therefore, ang computation natin ng equivalent unit of production sa ending inventory is 4,000 units times 100% din. So lagay natin dito 4,000. So therefore, ang equivalent unit of production natin sa direct materials is also 10,000 units. So lagay lang natin dito 10,000. Next, how about the direct labor? So sa direct labor, same lang din po ang ating procedure. Unahin muna natin si transferred out. So si transferred out, meron tayong diyang 6,000 units. So dahil nga transferred out na yan, kompleto na po yung process nila. So multiply lang natin sa 100%. Okay, so therefore 6,000 yan. So sa ending balance naman natin ng ending inventory, babalikan nyo lang ulit. So ang natitira na lang sa ating ending inventory in units are 4,000 units. So out of 4,000 units, so lahat daw ng 4,000 na yan are 60% completed. So dahil 60% completed lang yan, so ita-times natin yan by 60%. Okay? So 4,000 times 60%, ang lalabas po dyan ay 2,400. So, ibig sabihin, pagsamahin nyo lang po ang equivalent unit of production ng transferred out tsaka ng ending. So, ang lalabas natin na equivalent unit of production as far as the direct labor is concerned on cutting department will be 8,400 units. So, ilagay lang natin dito, 8,400. Okay? Then, doon naman tayo sa factory overhead. Sa factory overhead, yung ating transferred out is also 6,000 units. Multiply natin sa rate of completion dahil nga transferred out, tapos na yung process, so times lang natin sa 100%. So lagay natin dito 6,000. Next natin, we have the ending balance. Ang ending balance natin, we have 4,000. So yung factory overhead daw, ang rate of completion natin ay 50%. So 50% ng 4,000, we have 2,000 units. So therefore, our equivalent unit of production as far as the factory overhead is concerned will be 8,000 units. So lagay lang natin dito 8,000 units. So tutuloy-tuloy lang po natin para naman makompute naman natin ang equivalent unit of production ni assembly and finishing. So proceed na tayo sa assembly department. So burahin ko lang po para malinis ang ating board sa ilalim, di ba? So, burahin ko lang. Okay, so yan, malinis na po ulit ang ating board sa ilalim. So, proceed na tayo sa computation naman ng equivalent unit of production as far as the assembly department is concerned. So, same procedure lang din po ang kailangan po nating i-explain is yung nangyari doon naman sa 6,000, di ba? Kasi nga, assembly department. So, dito naman tayo sa taas. So, as far as the direct labor is concerned, ang transferred out units natin will be 4,000. Then, yung ending natin ay 2,000. So, tingnan nyo lang po ulit ang rate of completion sa assembly. So, syempre, sa transferred out, 100% yan. Doon naman sa ending balance, we have 2,000. Yung 2,000 daw ay 50% completed. Okay? So, sa taas, meron tayo ditong 4,000. Dito naman, meron tayong 1,000. So, therefore, ang equivalent unit of production natin as far as the direct materials is concerned is 5,000 units. Okay? So, mali pala tayo kasi direct materials 100% yan. So, mali po pala, sorry. So, tanggalin po natin yan. Ito. Hindi pala siya 50%. So, 2,000 times 100%. So, therefore, ang ating equivalent unit of production as far as the ending balance is concerned will be 2,000 units. Kasi, kaya lang ulit siya hindi mailipat sa next department kasi nga, hindi pa kompleto yung mga conversion cost. Pero yung direct materials, kompleto po tayo. So, therefore, lalagay natin dito ay 6,000 units. So, lagay po natin sa assembly, 6,000. So, sana nakakasunod po tayo, di ba? So, punta naman tayo doon sa direct labor. So, in transferred out natin, same lang din, we have 4,000 units. So, dahil nga transferred out na yan, so ang assumption, 100% completed na po yung process natin. So, lagay lang natin dito 4,000. So, yung ending natin, we have 2,000. So, balikan po natin yung rate of completion ng ending balance ng direct labor. So, kaya hindi siya mapadala kasi 50% pa lang complete. So, lagay natin dito 50%. So, lalagay natin dito ay 1,000 units. 2,000 times 50%. So, therefore, the EUP of direct labor sa assembly will be 5,000 units. Next, factory overhead. So, yung transferred out natin is also 4,000 units. Multiply natin sa 100%. So, therefore, lagay natin dito 4,000. So, yung ending natin, 2,000 units. So, ang rate completion natin, kung babalikan natin dito, we have 80%. So, times natin sa 80%. So, 2,000 times 80%. Ang lalabas po na result dyan ay 1,600. So, therefore, the equivalent unit of production factory overhead under assembly department will be 5,000 units. 5,600 units rather. So, lagay natin dyan 5,600. Okay, so proceed na tayo sa last department which is the finishing department. So, burahin ko lang ulit. Yan, so nakabura na. So, pwede na nating ituloy ang computation ng equivalent unit of production. So, direct materials under finishing department is 100% completed. So, ilagay lang natin dito. Yung transferred out natin sa finishing department is 3,000 units. 100% completed daw yan. So, lagay natin 100. So, lagay natin dito 3,000. So, yung ending natin is 1,000. Times natin sa rate of completion, 100%. So, lagay natin 100%. So, lagay natin dito 1,000 units. So, therefore, ang equivalent unit of production sa direct materials under finishing will be 4,000 units. Lagay po natin dito 4,000 units. So, direct labor natin, ang ating transferred out ay 3,000 or yung ating cost of goods manufactured. So, lagay natin dyan 3,000 units. So, dahil transferred out na yan, ang assumption, 100% completed na yan. So, lagay po natin dito, 3,000. So, yung ending balance po natin is 1,000 units. Multiply natin sa rate of completion na 70%. So, ang rate of completion natin sa ending, 1,000 times 70%. So, we have 700. So, equivalent unit of production and direct labor sa finishing department will be 7,700 units. So, 3,700 units. So, factory overhead, so last na. Transferred out units, 3,000. Times rate of completion, 100% yan kasi nga transferred out na eh. So, part na yun ng cost of goods manufactured. So, lagay natin dito, 3,000 units. So, yung end natin, 1,000 units. Rate of completion, based dun sa ating given, we have 60%. So, therefore, 1,000 times 60%, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 600 units. So, ang ating equivalent unit of production sa FOH ng finishing department will be 3,600. So, lagay po natin dito, 3,600 units. So, at last, so na-compute na po natin ang equivalent unit of production ng manufacturing cost for each department. Remember, this will be used later to compute for the unit cost na gagamitin naman natin para makompute ang i-allocate natin na amount sa ending balance at doon sa ating cost of goods manufactured. So, proceed tayo sa unit cost on the next slide. Okay, so let's now proceed with the computation of the unit cost. So, ito yung ating illustration kanina. So, as I mentioned earlier, crucial ang equivalent unit of production para makompute ang unit cost kasi this will serve our denominator. So, yung numerator po natin is yung total cost, then yung denominator natin, equivalent unit of production, which we already computed earlier. So, let's use the right side of this presentation para maging computation board po natin. So, para makompute natin ang unit cost, ang kailangan lang po natin gawin is ilatag yung manufacturing cost on each department. So, isa-isahin po natin yung kada department para hindi po tayo malito. So, unahin natin si cutting department, which is the first department. Diba? So, lagay natin dito cutting. So, ang goal po natin is to compute for the unit cost on cutting department. So, basically, i-accumulate lang natin ang unit cost ng direct materials, direct labor, and the factory overhead. So, for the direct materials, ang ating cost na na-incur dyan is 1 million pesos. Lagay natin dito 1 million. So, yung direct labor naman, we have 924,000. Then, yung ating factory overhead, we have 739,200. Okay? So, ang total manufacturing cost natin per cutting department is i-total lang natin lahat yan. So, compute po natin. 1 million plus 924,000 plus 739,200. That will be 2,663,200. Okay? So, ang gagawin po natin, i-divide lang natin yan doon sa ating equivalent unit of production. So, for direct materials, meron tayo dyang 10,000 units. Sa direct labor, we have 8,400. Sa ating factory overhead, we have 8,000 units. So, ang unit cost natin for direct materials will be 1 million divided by 10,000. So, meron tayong 100 per unit, diba? So, for direct labor, we have 924 divided by 8,400. So, meron tayo ditong 110 pesos per unit. So, for factory overhead, we have 739,200 divided by 8,000, which is the equivalent unit of production for manufacturing cost. So, ang lalabas po dyan ay 92 pesos and 40 cents. Okay? So, since kompleto na po ang unit cost ng ating manufacturing cost, ang gagawin lang po natin ay i-add lang natin yan lahat. So, meron tayo dyang 100 plus 110 plus 92.4. That will be 302 pesos and 40 cents. So, therefore, yung 302 natin, this will be our unit cost. Yan. So, ganyan lang po kasimple ang computation ng unit cost. So, kuhain lang natin yung manufacturing cost or total cost divided by equivalent unit of production. So, to continue with our discussion, dahil na-compute na rin naman natin yung unit cost, so, from here, we can already determine the amount to be included or to be allocated dun sa ating transferred out. So, kuhain nyo lang pula, ilang units ba ang tinransfer natin from cutting to assembly. So, I believe meron tayo dong 6,000 units, diba? So, dahil available na yung ating unit cost, i-times nyo lang yan sa 302.4, which is the unit cost. So, therefore, the amount to be allocated sa ating transferred out will be 6,000 times 302.40. That will be 1,814,400. So, ito po ang tawag po natin dito ay transferred out. Okay? So, ngayon, para mas madali ulit natin siyang maintindihan, so pwede tayo mag-prepare ng T-account. Diba? Just to make sure kung tama ba yung na-compute natin sa taas. So, T-account yan for cutting department. Diba? So, sa right side, or left side, we have beginning. Then, we have the started in process or yung ating manufacturing cost. Then, sa right side, we have the ending balance and we have the transferred out. So, ilagay lang muna natin yung beginning. So, alam naman natin ang beginning natin ay wala pa, so 0. So, yung started in process natin, which is equivalent dun sa ating manufacturing cost, lagay lang natin 2,663,200. So, na-compute natin kanina sa taas, we have the transferred out amount, which is 1,814,400. So, kuhain lang po natin yung total sa baba. So, yung total natin, 2,663,200. Lagay natin dito, 2,663,200. So, to get the ending balance, we have 2,663,200 minus 1,814,400, which is the transferred out amount. So, our ending balance ng ating work in process as far as the cutting department is concerned is 848,800. So, kung hindi kayo sure kung tama ba yung 848,800, so meron po tayong other way to compute that. So, gagawin po natin, computein natin yung ending balance for each manufacturing cost. Alam naman natin, meron tayo dong direct materials, direct labor, and we have factory overhead. So, para malaman natin ang amount na i-allocate natin sa ending inventory, so kuhain lang natin yung EUP ng ending balance ng each manufacturing cost. So, sa case natin, babalikan lang po natin ito. Diba? So, ibabawas nyo lang po dyan yung EUP ng transferred out. So, alam naman natin ang EUP ng transferred out is 6,000. So, to compute for the equivalent unit of production of the ending inventory, so EUP in total minus EUP ng transferred out. So, for direct materials, we have 10,000 minus 6,000. So, therefore, ang EUP niya ay 4,000. For direct labor, we have 8,400 minus 6,000. That will be 2,400. So, for factory overhead, we have 8,000 minus 6,000. That would be 2,000. So, multiply nyo lang doon sa unit cost na na-compute natin sa taas, isa-isa. So, sa direct materials, we have 100 pesos. Sa direct labor, we have 110. Then, sa factory overhead, we have 92.4. So, compute natin yung total. Unahin natin si direct labor. So, 4,000 units times 100. So, meron tayo ditong 400,000. So, for direct labor, we have 24 times 1, 110. So, meron tayo diyang 264,000 pesos. For factory overhead, we have 2,000 times 92.4. So, lalabas dyan is 184,800. So, i-total lang po natin yan lahat. So, 400,000 plus 264 plus 184,800. So, ang total niya ng 848,800. So, kung babalikan natin yung balance na na-compute natin kanina, which is 2,663,200 minus 1,814,400. So, ang lumabas doon is 848,800, which is also equivalent nung bin-breakdown natin siya into pieces per manufacturing cost. So, therefore, our computation is correct. So, balikan ko lang po, ang ating pong unit cost sa cutting department is 302 pesos and 40 cents. Then, kapag tinanong how much is the transferred out amount, so ang isasagot po natin is 1,814. Then, kapag tinanong magkano yung balance na matitira sa cutting department, ang sasagot po natin ay 848,800 pesos. Okay, so let's now proceed to the next department, which is assembly department. Okay, same lang yung procedure pero madadagdagan kasi nga nagkaroon ng transfer from cutting department to assembly. Then si assembly meron din siyang sariling manufacturing cost na na-incur. So let's now proceed. So ang ating cost ngayon or ang ating department will be assembly. So dahil second department na ito, so computein muna natin yung kanyang sariling manufacturing cost, 'di ba? We have direct materials, direct labor, and we have factory overhead. So sa kanyang department given po nasa baba ito. Yan. Ilagatag lang natin. So ang ating direct materials is 300,000 pesos. Direct labor 252,000 pesos. Then for the factory overhead we have 224,000 pesos. So again, kuhain lang natin yung ating equivalent unit of production to compute for the unit cost. So for direct materials, so ang ating EUP for assembly is 6,000 units. For direct labor, we have 5,000 units. Then for factory overhead, we have 5,600 units. So compute natin, magkano ba ang per unit ni direct materials? So let me get my calculator. So 300,000 divided by 6,000. So that will be 50 pesos. Then for direct labor, we have 252,000 divided by 5,000 EUP for direct labor. So meron tayo ditong 50 pesos and 40 cents. For factory overhead, we have 224,000 divided by 5,600 EUP. So, meron tayong 40 pesos. So, ang unit cost natin sa assembly department in total will be 50 plus 50.4 plus 40. So, ang total po natin ay 140 pesos and 40 cents. Okay? So, since second department to at meron siyang natanggap na cost from cutting department, so i-add lang po natin yun, yung transferred in, di ba? So, lagay ko dito, transferred in. So, ang transferred in natin, unit cost, ang amount nun, sa na-compute natin kanina is 302.4. So, i-total lang po natin yan. So, 140.4 plus 302.4. So therefore, our unit cost for department number 2 will be 442.8. So papansinin nyo, inad po natin yung 302.4 kasi nga process costing to, accumulating po yung cost. So therefore, since na-compute na natin yung unit cost ng department number 2, then pwede na po natin makompute yung allocated amount doon sa ating transferred out naman sa finishing department. So ilagay muna natin dito the unit cost. The new computed unit cost is 442 pesos 0.80 per product. Then, ang transferred out in units natin na pinasa natin sa finishing department is 4,000 units. So, therefore, ang transferred out value natin will be 442.8 times 4,000 units. That will be 1,771,200. So, ito na po yung ating transferred out amount. So, para ma-ensure ulit natin na tama yung mga pinagagawa natin, so we can create our own T account. Dito. Okay? Yan. So, lagay natin dito, assembly department. Sa debit side, meron tayo ditong beginning. Then, meron tayo ditong manufacturing cost. Then, syempre, lalagay na rin natin yung transferred in kasi meron tayong cost na nanggaling sa prior department, which is sa cutting department. So, lagay ulit natin dito and we also have our own transferred out. So, beginning 0. Then, yung manufacturing cost, compute natin sa taas, nakalimutan natin i-total. So, 300,000 plus 252,000 sa direct labor, then 224 sa factory overhead. So, ang total po natin dyan ay 776,000. So, lagay ko lang 776,000. So, lagay ko sa baba. 776. For the transferred in, which is nanggaling dun sa prior department na na-compute natin kanina, ang ilalagay po natin dyan ay 1,814,400. Okay? So, itotal lang po natin dyan para makuha natin ang total goods placed in process sa second department. We have 776 plus 1,814,400. So, ang total goods placed in process natin sa second department will be 2,590,400. Explain lang natin kung ano nangyari sa 2,590,400. So, kuhain natin yung na-compute natin sa taas na transferred out. So, ang transferred out value natin is 1,771,200. So, iles lang natin para makompute naman natin ang ending balance. So, 2,590,400 minus 1,771,200. So, ang lalabas na result doon ay 819,200. So, ito na po yung value ng ating ending balance sa assembly department. So, to check ulit, pwede po natin computein yung ending balance separately just to make sure na tama yung amount na nilagay natin. So, ilagay lang natin dito, direct materials, direct labor, and we have the factory overhead. So, kuhain lang natin yung EUP ng ending balance. So, para makuha ang EUP ng ending balance is yung EUP in total minus the transferred out in units. So, ang transferred out in units natin, if I'm not mistaken, is 4,000 units, diba? So, therefore, kung 6,000 ang EUP in total natin for direct materials, iles lang natin yung 4,000. So, yung EUP natin for direct materials will be 2,000 units. For direct labor, 5,000 minus 4,000. So, meron tayo ditong 1,000 units. For factory overhead, we have 5,600 minus 4,000. So, that will be 1,600. So, multiply natin doon sa unit cost na na-compute natin sa taas. So, meron tayo ditong 50 for direct materials, then 50.40 para sa direct labor, then 40 pesos para kay factory overhead. So, kuhain natin yung total. So, 2,000 times 50 for direct materials. So, meron tayo ditong 100,000 pesos. For direct labor, we have 1,000 times 50.4. So, meron tayo ditong 50,400. Next, we have the factory overhead. So, 1,600 times 40. So, meron tayo ditong 64. So, i-total nyo lang po. So, 100,000 pesos times 5,400 ay plus 5,400 plus 64,000. So, ang lalabas po dyan ay 214,400. So, kung i-check nyo po, yung ating ending balance sa assembly is 819,200. Tapos, yung na-compute natin separately na ending balance ng WIP is only 214,400. So, we have to check ano ba yung naging difference nila, 'di ba? So 819,400 minus 214,400. So ang lalabas doon ay 600. Wait, I have to check. So meron tayo diyang 819,200 minus 214,400. So meron po tayong nawawalang amount na 604,800. So, yung 604,800, so this represents the transferred in from cutting department to assembly department, pero hindi pa siya na-transfer dun sa finishing department. So, ito po yung remaining na 2,000 units. Kasi 'di ba, yung tinransfer natin from cutting to assembly is 6,000. Pero yung tinransfer lang natin sa finishing is 4,000. So, may natitira pa tayo na 2,000 units. So, 2,000 units, multiply natin sa transferred in amount, unit cost, which is 302,000.40. So, ang magiging total po niyan ay 2,000 times 302.4. That would be 604,800, which is equivalent dun sa nawawala nating amount. So, ibig sabihin, i-add lang natin yung 604 na yan dito. Yan. So, magiging total po natin ay 819,200, which is also equivalent doon sa value ng ating ending balance. So, ganyan po ang computation ng ating manufacturing cost or yung ating T account sa assembly department, which is the second department. Okay, so let's now proceed to the last department, which is yung finishing department. So, bilisan na lang natin kasi masyado nang mahaba yung video na ito. Okay? So, gamitin ulit natin yung right side as our computation board. So, lagay lang natin dito, finishing department. So, parehas lang naman din po yung approach natin. So, gawin natin, ilatag natin yung mga manufacturing costs such as the direct materials, direct labor, and we have the factory overhead. So, for the direct materials, ang amount po natin, ito po yan, dito yan manggagaling. So, dahil finishing department na daw ito, so wala na po tayo na incur na direct materials. For the direct labor, we have 192,400. Then, sa ating factory overhead, we have 162,000 pesos. So, ang total manufacturing cost na na-incur natin will be, i-add lang po muna natin. So, 192,400 plus 162,000. So, meron tayong 354,400. So, lagay ko lang 354,400. Then, gamitin ulit natin yung equivalent unit of production to compute for the unit cost for each manufacturing cost. So, sa direct materials, meron tayong 4,000. Dahil nga, wala naman tayong na-incur, so therefore, ang unit cost natin dito ay 0. So, for direct labor, we have 3,700. So, therefore, ang unit cost niyan ay 192,400 divided by 37. So, we have 52 pesos. So, for factory overhead, ang EUP natin ay 36. So, 162,000 divided by 36. So, therefore, we have 45 pesos. So, ang total unit cost natin for manufacturing cost sa finishing department will be 52 plus 45. So, we have 97. So, 97, i-add lang natin yung unit cost ng transferred in natin, which is transferred out from assembly department. So, ang na-compute natin dun earlier is 442 pesos and 80 cents. So, in total, ang bagong unit cost natin will be 97 plus 442.80. So, meron tayong 539 pesos and 80 centavos. So, yung 539, ito na yung magiging basis natin ng magiging cost of goods manufactured natin kasi nga final department na tayo. So, 539.80, i-multiply lang natin yan doon sa cost of goods manufactured in units, and I believe meron tayong 3,000 units, di ba? Kasi out of 4,000, ang na-release natin sa finished goods inventory are 3,000 units. So, lagay natin dito 3,000 units. So, 539.80 times 3,000 units. So, ang ating cost of goods manufactured will be 1,619,400. So, let's prepare the T account. Okay? So, sa T account natin, lagay natin dito, finishing department. So, we have beginning, and we also have the transferred in, then we also have the manufacturing cost and total. Okay, tanggalin ko lang muna. Yan. So, for the beginning, dahil first year of operation pa lang ito, first month, so 0 lang ito. Then, yung transferred in natin, which is na-compute natin kanina, so meron tayo dyang 1,771,200. Then, yung ating manufacturing cost, we have 354,400. So, ang ating total or yung ating total goods placed in process amount sa finishing department will be 2,125,600. So, lagay natin dito sa right side, 2,125,600. So, ilagay lang natin doon sa ating transferred out or yung ating cost of goods manufactured. So, na-compute natin yun sa taas dito. So, lagay po natin dito ay 1,619,400. So, ang computation naman ng ating ending balance is yung difference nilang dalawa. 2,125,600 minus 1,619,400. So, that will be 506,200. Yan. So, to check kung tama ba yung ating ending inventory, which is 506,200 for finishing department. So, ilatag ulit natin. So, meron tayo ditong direct materials, direct labor, FOH. Then, isama na natin yung transferred in from assembly department to finishing na hindi pa natin na-deliver dun sa ating finished goods inventory. So, unahin muna natin si direct materials. So, si direct materials, ang ating ending inventory in units is 1,000. Tama? So, dahil nga 1,000 yan, so ilagay po natin dito ay 1,000. Kasi ayan yung EUP natin sa ending inventory. So, for the direct labor naman, ang EUP natin dyan sa ending inventory will be 37 minus 3,000. So, meron tayong 700. So, for factory overhead, we have 3,600. Iles natin yung na-transfer na natin sa finished goods, which is 3,000 units. So, meron na lang tayong EUP na 600. So, for the transferred in, na hindi pa natin na-deliver sa finished goods, meron din tayo dyang 1,000. So, i-times natin doon sa unit cost na na-compute natin sa taas. Ito yon. Okay? So, for the direct materials, dahil wala naman tayong na-incur in the first place, so times lang natin yan sa 0. For the direct labor, times natin yan sa 52. For factory overhead, times natin yan sa 45. Then, yung transferred in na 1,000 na hindi pa natin na-deliver sa finished goods, i-multiply lang natin yan doon sa na-compute natin earlier, which is yung 442.80. So, kuhain na natin yung mga total. Direct materials, 0. Direct labor, 700 times 52. So, 36,400. Factory overhead, 600 times 45. So, we have 27,000. Then, for the transferred in, we have 1,000 times 442.80. So, that will be 442,800. 442,800. So, i-total lang po natin. So, 36,400 plus 27,000 plus 442,800. So, ang lalabas po na result dyan is 506,200. Which is equivalent doon sa na-compute natin na ending inventory using T account. So, therefore, tama po yung na-compute natin sa taas tsaka sa baba. So, ganyan lang po ang pag-compute ng unit cost at the same time on how to determine the amount doon sa ating transferred in tsaka yung ating inventory account. Yan. So let's now proceed to requirements number 3, which is the preparation of cost of production report. However, since masyado nang mahaba ang video na ito at kailangan natin bigyan ng oras kung paano gumawa ng production report, so skip muna tayo doon sa requirement number 3 at proceed tayo sa requirement number 4. Okay? So, ang requirement number 4 po natin is to prepare a cost of goods manufactured report. So, gagawin na lang po natin informal kasi marunong naman kayo gumawa ng formal ng cost of goods manufactured. So, kung ano lang yung magiging laman ng ating cost of goods manufactured report. So, kaya kung mapapansin nyo, nag-prepare tayo ng T-account dun sa mga previous slide para po maging guide natin sa preparation ng pinaka-cost of goods manufactured natin sa buong manufacturing firm. So, meron tayong T-account na ginawa for cutting department, which is the first department. Then, meron din tayong T-account for sa assembly department, and we also have T-account for the finishing department. So, let's now proceed for the preparation of the cost of goods manufactured report using the information that we gathered earlier at yung ating mga na-compute kanina. So, madali na ito kasi given na yung ating mga T-account, naka-check na natin na tama na yan. So, pwede na tayong magsimula. So, of course, unahin muna natin ang computation ng ating raw materials. So, lagay natin dito ay raw materials, then beginning. So, as we all know, ang raw materials beginning natin ay 0. Then, i-add lang natin ang purchases, which is provided dun sa ating given. Ang purchases po natin ay ito yon, 2.5 million. So, lagay natin dito ay 2.5 million. So, ang magiging result niyan would be total materials available for use. So, ang total materials available for use natin is also 2.5 million pesos. Then, ileless lang po natin ang raw materials end. So, ang raw materials end po natin, so, kung nakapag-deliver tayo ng 1.3 million na raw materials. So, therefore, 2.5 million minus 1.3. So, ang ating raw materials ending will be 1.2 million. So, lagay lang natin dyan, 1.2 million. So, magiging result natin ay direct materials use, which is ito yon. So, lalagay natin dyan, 1.3 million pesos. Then, ilagay lang natin yung direct labor and we have the factory overhead across dun sa ating mga 3 departments. So, compute din natin sila isa-isa. So, unahin muna natin si direct labor. Ito yan. Yan. So, si direct labor, we have 924,000 plus 252,000 plus 192,400. So, ang direct labor natin is 1,368,400. For factory overhead, we have 739,200 plus 224,000 plus 162,000. So, ang total niyan is 1,125,200. So, ang total manufacturing cost natin will be 1,300,000 plus 1,368,400 plus 1,125,200. So, ang lalabas po dyan ay 3,793,600 as our manufacturing cost. So, add lang po natin ang ating WIP beginning. So, ang ating WIP beginning natin ay wala kasi first year of operation yan. So, therefore, ang ating total goods placed in process will be the same, which is 3,793,600. So, lagay lang natin dito sa taas kasi hindi nakasya sa baba. So, TGP, total goods placed in process is 3,793,600. Then, ililess lang po natin lahat ng ending inventory na compute natin for each department. So, meron tayo ditong cutting, meron tayong assembly, and we also have finishing. So, for cutting department, ang ending inventory natin ay 848,800. So, ito po yan. Ayan. Then, next, we have the assembly department. Ang assembly department natin ng 819,200. So, ito po yan. So, ilagay lang natin 819,200. So, for the finishing department, so ito po yan. We have 506,200. So, para ma-sure tayo, i-total muna natin. 848,800 plus 819,200 plus 506,200. So, yung total ending natin should be 2174,200. So, this will be deducted from 3793, which is the TGPP, to get the cost of goods manufactured. So, magiging result po niyan ay minus natin 3,793,600 minus 2,174,200. So, 3,793,600 minus 2,174,200. So, therefore, the cost of goods manufactured should be 1,619,400. So, kung babalikan po natin, parehas po yan sa na-compute natin using the T account, which is the 1,690,400. So, ganyan lang po kasimple, or ganyan lang po kung paano mag-compute ng cost of goods manufactured report in process costing. Medyo matrabaho lang siya kasi mas nagkakaroon ng pasahan ng cost from one department to another. At the same time, kailangan pa natin mag-compute ng EUP, unlike sa job order costing, kaya natin siya i-compute kasi wala naman siyang EUP. So, that's all. So, for the next video, we will try to discuss the cost of production report kasi masyado nang mahaba yung video na ito. So, thank you for listening and see you on my next video.